All righty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 Paleo bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. There's just no explanation needed on this one, baby. The Washington Commanders suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm all choked up here. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away. Throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free. Fire away. But also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Oh, time out on the field. I got to move the chair for my buddy Randy here. Hold on. All right, buddy. Hold on. Boop. Okay, Randy's here. We can continue. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, top link in the description box. Very top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, to me, I'm an old-time fart. I hate change, right? Get off my lawn, right? I'm an old-time fart, right? The link right underneath the Facebook one, it's Twitter. It's a Twitter link. I have a Twitter account. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter 10 trillion years from now because I'm an old-time fart and I hate change. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I usually try to put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. As I said, once again, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's a promise. And then also the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. It's a group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. We have over 7,700 members in the group. If I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in here, but the members, if you become a member as well, not only do I put stuff in here, but the members post stuff in here as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, all that stuff said and done, out of the way with. Well, it's like, what do you got? You guys, unfortunately, we've kind of crossed some, I don't know, childish guys, I guess. Some guys, maybe then just not so much bad people or whatever. Some of them just need, I really think some really need, not like a good swift kick in the butt or anything. Some of these guys need like mentors, you know what I mean? Like Eli Apple, like Kadarius Toney, guys like this, guys who make it to the NFL and all, and wind up turning out to be, very childish, very, very childish. Unfortunately, they let their feelings get the best of them sometimes, or a lot of times, or almost all the times, or with these guys, and it's just not smart on their part. You know what I mean? there's certain guys who could, maybe say things and get away with it and stuff like that. I'm saying maybe like a Tom Brady or, other guy, Patrick Mahomes or something like that, maybe say something here and there or whatever. And it would, really would mean something or whatever like that. But I mean, some of these guys, I mean, you got to be, some of these guys just really need mentors. And they're just really very, very childish. In the way they act. And once again, good old Kadarius Toney burning bridges here once again. I'm interested to see how long the Chiefs are going to put up with, him. Yeah, I mean, he's lucky he got traded to a very good team, right? I mean, if he got traded to somebody like the Titans or the Panthers or somebody, somebody was just like, be a, it would be like almost a forgotten person, but because he's with the Chiefs and they keep going to the Super Bowl and all that stuff and everything, of course his name keeps popping up and everything like that. Not because he's done really anything any good. Usually it's because he's acting like a 2-year-old child, and unfortunately that's seems like that's what the case here is once again, like with the Kansas City Chiefs. They put him on, now we got Andy Reid. I mean, this stuff like this should never even ever come. I mean, your coach, should not have to come on and explain stuff like this and all that and everything. There's a reason why you're where they put you and all that, and some of it might have to do with the fact that he's just a 2-year-old child. But as I said, I'd be interested to see if he's still on the Chiefs next season at all. I mean, especially you look at his numbers. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Just this guy. I mean, got it's from New York Post. It says Chiefs head coach Andy Reid rejected the notice that the team was lying about receiver Kadarius Toney's injury status. Toney, the polarizing ex-Giant first-round draft pick, was ruled out of the AFC Championship game. They didn't even need him, right? That went over the Ravens with a hip injury and for personal reasons. Well, personal reasons certainly could be that he's a moron. He's a 2-year-old child, right? But Toney subsequently posted an expletive laden rant on his Instagram on Sunday morning, suggesting that he was healthy and the Chiefs were not being truthful about his availability. Once again, social media can really be at times a big help and all that and stuff like that, but also can be your worst enemy. And some of these guys just need to know, what they should put on social media. Some guys, shouldn't be on social media at all. And Kadarius Toney would be one of the guys that should not be on social media. I said, well, obviously he's been on the injury report, Reid said Monday about that suggestion. So that part, that's not made up by any means, but he's been working through some things and he'll be back out there at practice. Toney's daughter was also born, though he did not address that in his video. Right. Y'all reading all this cap ASSH bloop. I mean, y'all reading all this cap. I mean, can you learn to talk first? Can you learn to talk the English language first before you start shooting your mouth off, right? Or just some of these guys, just absolute unbelievable. Toney said in the video. So he's apparently, I'm not going to waste 1 second of my life checking out a video that the moron is doing. So, but he comes on apparently in his video, y'all reading all this cap. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what? Ain't never been a blank, a N blank A to do all that, but man, that S blank T cap. So I don't know if never been a N blank A, I don't know if that's the real bad black word that ends with an A, and not an ER, but it ends with an A, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't know. Don't want to know. Reed said Monday that he had not yet seen the video, and I guess hopefully he doesn't waste his time. But I mean, it's just, if you're playing for a team and getting ready to go to Super Bowl and stuff like that, and you're going on and putting out a video saying all these blank words, I mean, are you really that stupid? Are you seriously, dude? Are you really that stupid? So Andy Reid said, I actually haven't seen it, Reid said. I heard people talk about it, but yeah, he'll be back out there, and we'll see how he does. It was hardly surprised that Toney was ruled out. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want a freaking 2-year-old child on my sideline. He last played in week 15 when he dropped a pass that led to an interception during the Chiefs' 27-17 win over the Patriots. Just 1 week prior, Toney's viral offsides penalty, which he was about 13 feet offside, doomed the Chiefs on a national televised game in their 20-17 loss to the Bills, in which they actually pretty much scored the winning. He actually wound up scoring the winning touchdown. Pretty much, the Bills would have had a little bit of time left, but it may not have mattered. But where actually Kelsey caught the pass, lateraled it back to him, and he ran in and scored the game-winning touchdown. They would have wound up beating the Bills because he was 315 feet offside. It got called back. What an idiot he is. His career with both the Giants and the Chiefs has been marred by continuous injuries and off-the-field issues. He's just a 2-year-old child. Toney caught a whopping 27 passes for 169 yards and 1 touchdown in the regular season this year. So what is that? That would be basically 6 yards of reception. He's a first-round pick. He caught 27 passes. Basically, he averaged 6 yards of reception, and he caught 1 touchdown in the regular season this year. And he's a first year, and he's shooting his mouth off and stuff like that. I mean, just absolute, total idiot. Really, it's a shame. Some guys really need, like a mentor or somebody like that. Somebody's willing to put their foot up his rear end when he goes out of line or something like that. And, you're just burning bridges, and you're gonna get to the point where teams just ain't gonna want you. It's like, dude, look what you did with the Giants, look what you did with the Chiefs, and then they traded you away to the Titans. So look what you did there, dude. We don't need you, dude. Please, go flip burgers at McDonald's or something like that, man. We don't need you. We don't need a 2-year-old child in the locker room, pal. You're nothing but a cancer. Look at the crap you did at the Giants. Look at the crap you're winning Super Bowls, and you're still causing problems with the Chiefs. You're causing problems with Andy Reid. Dude, are you that stupid? Then they traded you away to the Titans, and you're doing that. I mean, what's wrong with you, dude? Seriously, what is wrong with you? So, unfortunately, he needs somebody to mentor him, and probably won't get it and all that. Shame, but he's burning bridges. And as I said, it's going to be interesting to see how long he winds up staying with the with the Chiefs. Before, Andy Reid don't need to put up with this kind of crap. He's a good special talent and all that stuff and everything, but guy, they can draft somebody. They'll pick somebody up in the draft who can, probably stay healthier than he can and produce more than he can. The one thing that you'll notice is that, over the past however many drafts, and once again, it seems like the same thing this year, a lot of good wide receivers. And it might be like that forever because you got the game there changing, right? And also, as we're seeing with Saquon, a lot of the running backs, right? You come to the NFL, maybe you can, you could draft in the 3rd round, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever, as a running back. You'll maybe get some production and all that, but the do-re-mi is not going to be there for running backs. The do-re-mi is going to be there for wide receivers. So you're going to start, it's like, if you're a real good talent, it depends upon what your size is and all that. If you're whatever, 300 and something pounds, be a tackle. If you're 280, something like, be an edge rusher, right? Right? I mean, if you're around the 200 marker or something like that, depends on how quick you are, whatever, you can be a cornerback or a wide receiver. That's where the do-re-mi is at. Or if you think you can, think you can do it, hey, become a quarterback. God bless you, right? It's not easy. But I mean, there's certain guys, it's like, growing up, oh man, I want to be a running back. But then somewhere along the line, dude, the running backs only make about $5 million. If you want to, you're fast, man. You got some moves, dude. Be a wide receiver. They're making $40 million plus. So, right. So, I mean, the way that, football's obviously changing. It's gone from a running game, 3 yards in a cloud of dust and all that stuff to a passing league and everything. Pretty much you can almost pretty much bank on there being a decent amount of good wide receiver. Maybe not. We're talking, we're not going to have like 13 Marvin Harrison Juniors coming out every year. I get it, but are there going to be some good quality wide receivers coming out probably almost every year? Oh yeah. Yep, absolutely. Without question. And it's just from what I'm hearing. Once again, people go out of their way and they spend a lot of time watching the draft films and all this stuff. They trade their lives to know the draft, and they come up with a lot of great, fantastic information, and I take their knowledge, right? And I just, like put it in my head, right? I don't sit there, watch tape. Not going to, but I mean, I also heard some very good offensive line classes too. Should be quite a few guys taken in the first round, some offensive linemen, some quite a few guys, but I mean, also should be, even day 2 and day 3 should be able to find, if not starters, good contributors on the offensive line. So I'm saying, but just getting back to Kadarius Toney, there's probably almost every year you can almost see, every year almost from unless somehow it reverts back to 3 yards in a cloud of dust, which I don't ever see that happening, right? You can almost see almost every year there's going to be a good amount of wide receivers coming out that can do a decent job, So I mean, you see Toney. I mean, when healthy and all of that stuff, it's very difficult to cover him. I mean, he's a special talent. Right, without question, but he's a child at heart, and he's just burning bridges, and it's a shame he's costing himself some money. I really believe he's costing himself some money. All right, let's see here. This was kind of funny. Apparently, Jimmy Johnson kind of in a jokingly way lied to Michael Strahan about drafting Michael back in 1992. Now, it would be interesting to see if you ever went and you talked to Michael Strahan. I still think I would know what the answer is, but if you asked him and say, "Hey, Michael, if he got drafted by the Cowboys in 92, okay, he would have 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys, right? Let me just make sure. I don't want to. I don't want to. Oh, no, 1993. My bad. 93. And there was 92, 93. So he would have 2 Super Bowl rings because the Cowboys won in 92, 93, and 95, and 94 that the 49ers won. So Michael was 93. He was the Giants' second round pick in 1993. That was they got Armstead in the 8th round. They got Michael in the 2nd round, right, of 93. But so he'd have 2 Super Bowls with the Cowboys. Now he probably may not have. In 93, he wouldn't have been much of a contributor because they had a very good defensive line. So I'm sure he would have gotten on the field and all this and everything, but I'm sure he may not have been much of a big-time contributor. Maybe by 95, he might have been a contributor, a decent contributor and all that, but he would have had a hard time, I think, busting that start lineup in 1993. But he would have had 2 Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys. Now, it's interesting. If you ever ask him, Michael, if Jimmy drafted you in 93, okay, now, of course, he was going to be drafted in the first round. I'm going to read this article. Would you rather have, Michael, 2 Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys, or would you rather have the one with the Giants in 2007 where they snapped the Patriots' 18-0 streak? I think he'd say, I'll take the one with the Patriots. I really believe that. I really believe. I think way deep down inside, he's much happier being a Giant than he was as a Cowboy. I think he bleeds blue through and through. Right? He's a very, very, very successful person. Somebody like him just goes to show you that life after football, there's still plenty of money to be made. I mean, just because, I get it. A lot of these guys get, I didn't get paid. I didn't this. I didn't get that. Well, guys, once your football career is over with, guys, it doesn't mean the world comes to an end. It doesn't mean, well, your football career is over with. You're not allowed to make another penny the rest of your life. No. And I get it, and all that stuff. But I mean, some of it, I get it, but I don't get it. Some of these guys, I mean, look at Travis Kelce. I mean, how much money is that guy making off of ads and stuff like that? I mean, you can't even see. I mean, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, some of these guys, how much money are they making? Right? I mean, I know Saquon's mad about not getting paid or this, that, but how much money is he making? With ads and stuff, commercials and stuff, And then you look after the football's over with. I mean, play your cards right. You can make more money doing that, after football's over than you could when you were playing football, right? But I don't even know how I was talking about that, but it'd be interesting to see if you ask Michael, would you rather have the 2 Super Bowls with the Cowboys, or would you rather have the one with the Giants? I think he would rather say, I think I'll take the one with the Giants. But we got here, this is kind of funny. It says, Michael Strahan said, you lied. Michael Strahan reveals Dallas Cowboys Jimmy Johnson broken draft promise. The Giants legend, Michael Strahan, might have been a member of the Dallas Cowboys if a promise made by Jimmy Johnson had been kept. Now, because they were supposed to take him in the first round, the Giants did not have their first round pick. They gave that up to get Dave Brown in the supplemental draft. So in 1993, they didn't have their first round pick. So their first pick was the second round pick. They got it. They had Michael Strahan. So the Cowboys actually could have taken Michael Strahan before the Giants ever had a pick, right? So the Dallas Cowboys defense was formidable enough in the 1990s, but it could have been deadlier. Coming off a win in the Super Bowl, the Pokes held the 29th. The Pokes, okay, whatever, with the Cowboys, held the 29th pick in the ensuing NFL draft, the final choice of the first round traditionally bestowed to the champions. According to Michael Strahan, his name was supposed to appear in that slot had a promise from Jimmy Johnson been kept. Now, of course, it's funny because they both work on the same show. It's kind of funny. But Jimmy promised he was going to draft me to the Cowboys and flew me to Dallas, Strahan recalled on the Let's Go podcast hosted by Tom Brady. I met Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and all the guys. At the time, Strahan had established himself as a legitimate NFL prospect at Texas Southern, a Division I AA, now football championship subdivision school in his native Houston. Strahan was seemingly destined for Dallas to the point where he was in possession of a Cowboy contract on draft day and was ready to sign upon submission of the selection card. As soon as the Cowboys, he was ready to sign a contract. Right? Could you imagine if they and they really kind of screwed up? But I mean, could you imagine if they drafted him? The Giants, hey, could the Giants have won the Super Bowl without a Michael Strahan? Makes you kind of think. I mean, we had a nice front, but we sure could use Michael Strahan in there, right? But that call never came. Dallas instead traded the 29th pick as well as the 112th choice to the Green Bay Packers in exchange for Green Bay's second, their fourth, and their eighth rounders, as well as an additional second-round pick previously obtained from the 49ers. So they traded away their first rounder as well as the 112th, as maybe a fourth rounder, maybe a fifth rounder, I guess, whatever. In exchange, a first and a fourth, I guess, right, for 2 seconds, a fourth, and an eighth. So keep track of that right on your game card. The Packers wound up selecting Alabama safety and future Cowboy George Teague to close out the first round, forcing Strahan to be patient. He was eventually chosen by the Giants with the 40th pick, 6 choices just before Dallas went on the clock with their first of their Packers picks in the second round. Strahan humorously recalled confronting Johnson, his current Fox Sports colleague, years after the incident. I say to Jimmy, "You lied. You promised me," laughing, Strahan told Brady. He said, "Well, you know, I thought you were going to drop, and I can get you a lot lower. Plus, I didn't know you were going to be any good." Skipping Strahan perhaps went down as one of the few, if not relatively few, errors of the Johnson era. Each of the 4 players chosen in lieu of Strahan at number 29 was Kevin Williams, Darren Smith, Derek Lassick, and Reggie Gibbons. Was off of the Dallas roster by 1997. And, of course, Michael Strahan was from 1993 to 2007, right? While Michael went on to become one of the Cowboys' most recurring antagonists as a career-long member of the division rival Giants, Strahan amassed 141.5 sacks and a Super Bowl ring over his 15 Big Blue seasons and was later inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, Jimmy did a really good job. Let me tell you what. Drafting. He was very good at drafting, without question. But he missed the boat on that one with Strahan. He wanted trading all these picks away, and the 4 picks he wound up getting in return, they were off the ride. What's it, 93, 94, 95, 96? They maybe spent the 4 seasons at the most. I don't know if any of them were Pro Bowlers. None of them were certainly any really that great. Certainly none of them were Hall of Fame material. So he missed out on Michael Strahan. Absolutely. In his conversation with Brady, Strahan couldn't help but think about the hypotheticals behind the idea of his helmet bearing a star rather than a lowercase NY. "If I had been a Cowboy, my life would be completely different," Strahan said. "But New York had been literally the best place for me, and it's a tough city to play in because of the pressure of everyday media, the scrutiny. But, man, I was just so young, and I came from Germany. I didn't know this is what I've got to do." So, is that it? And that's it. That's the end of that one. So, kind of makes you wonder, would the Giants have been to that Super Bowl in 2007 without a Michael Strahan? Because I tell you what, he was good. He could play the run, and he could rush the passer. Not, you get some of these guys, they're okay at the run, but they're really good at the pass, whatever, I mean, he could set an edge. He was great against the run, great against the pass. He started off a little slow. His first few years, I think after his first 3 years, he only had like maybe 10 sacks or something. Let's see. Let's pop this up here, shall we? I know he started off slow. Michael Strahan. All right, let's see here. Here we go. As I said, I know the first few years he started off slow, and then he really started coming on. All right, sacks. Okay, he had 1 sack his first year, 4.5, then he had 7.5. Then he had 5. So basically, what would that be? 12, 13, 14. Basically, his first 4 seasons, he had 19 sacks. Okay, so he started off slowly. He played almost all the games. His first season, he played 9 games. He didn't start any, and he had 1 sack. His second season, he played in 15, started in 15, played in 15, and he had 4.5 sacks. So he started off slow. So his first 2 seasons, he only had 5.5 sacks. So, but, obviously he came on. And we're very, very lucky that Jimmy Johnson didn't want to pick him. Then we got good old Panthers once again. Evero. Ejiro. I think it is Ejiro Evero. The Panthers blocked the Giants from their from a defensive coordinator interview with Ejiro Evero. This is the second time the Panthers blocked the Giants. Now the Giants are doing their due diligence. I mean, they've got a broad variety, a wide spectrum out there for defensive coordinators that they're, right. Anybody interested in anybody from the Lions or the Ravens, they can be picked, right now because they're out of the playoffs, right? Lions blew that one, boy. I'll tell you what, they blew that one. And if the Ravens blew that one too. Zay Flowers fumbles the ball in the end zone. I mean, he's like, whatever, just far away. The ball gets knocked out. There's 7 points they gave up right there. Lamar throws an interception. There's like 17 Chiefs in that area. He throws the stupid bad pass, right? But I mean, the Lions, boy, I'll tell you what, if the Lions never get back to another championship game for however long, boy, they be kicking them. They look back and they can be kicking themselves. Campbell just gambling man, right? 4th down and 2, 4th, we're going for it. We got an easy field goal. What do I want a field goal for? What do I want points for? Sometimes you can just outcoach yourself. Sometimes when the points are there, you take them. So, Carolina Panthers have been a real thorn in the New York Giants' side during the recent coaching cycle, repeatedly blocking their interview requests. First, they blocked the special teams coordinator, Chris Tabor, from interviewing with the Giants and then fired him after the position had been filled. So possibly Tabor would be a Giant now, but now, because they said, no, we're not going to allow you to talk to the Giants, then after I guess the coach can't, the new coaching staff had been filled or whatever like that, they just let him go. They fired him. It is what it is. So now they blocked the Giants from interviewing their defensive coordinator, Ejiro Evero. Evero had a second interview for the Seahawks head coaching vacancy Saturday, and multiple teams are interested in hiring him as a defensive coordinator, according to a league source. But Evero remains under contract with the Panthers, who can block him from interviewing for a lateral position, they blocked the Jaguars, the Dolphins, and the Giants. All blocked him because it's a lateral move. So if he's under contract, right? I mean, that's it is what it is. Right, he's under contract. It's a lateral move. They can block. Right, I said if they get it, or maybe a new coach comes in or whatever, and they don't want to keep Evero, they bring in their own guy. Well, then Evero's on the streets. He can sign whatever he wants to. But if he's under contract with the team, they can block. Right, and they've been second time they blocked the Giants. So it is what it is. Unlike the situation with Tabor, it sounds like the Panthers intend to keep Evero on staff if he doesn't land a head coaching job. Meanwhile, the Giants have been extensive in their search to replace Wink Martindale. Thus far, they've interviewed Denard Wilson, the Ravens secondary coach, who they interviewed, I believe it was twice. And now he's available because they got knocked out. So if they're really, he seems like a hot commodity, right? So I know he's had interviews, I think, with at least 2 other teams. So if they better strike if they want him, right? Brendan Daly, the Chiefs linebacker coach, Shane Bowen, the Titans defensive coordinator, Derek Ansley, the Chargers defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile, Dolphins linebacker coach, Jerome Henderson, the Giants secondary coach, and Bobby Babich, the Bills linebacker coach. So, the guys, they got, I mean, it's, there certainly could be, a good one there. There's nobody that's like, proven, defensive coordinator who just has done an outstanding job. It's like this guy's good. Look at the record as a defensive coordinator. Look at the record he's had with he's been with these 2 teams. Look at the defenses. The coaching staff just got fired. So now, he's not under contract. He's a free agent. Go get this guy. He'll bring him in. Who's going to do wonders with your there's nobody there that's proven, right? You got some guys that said, like, Wilson and Jerome Henderson, some other guys, do a decent job. But, nobody's done a phenomenal job. Nobody that's really like jumping off at the, I said, if anything, I kind of like Wilson. I do like Wilson, but we'll have to wait and see. No, but they brought in quite a few different guys for the defensive coordinator position. So, and they've been blocked from a couple guys too. So they're doing a very extensive search. So we'll have to just keep an eye out there and wait and see. But I said, if Denard Wilson is the Giants' choice for defensive coordinator, they will have competition. Let's see. If the Giants want to hire Denard Wilson as a defensive coordinator, they can do so now because Baltimore's 17-10 loss to the Chiefs in the championship game on Sunday means Wilson is now available. Wilson is the only candidate the Giants have interviewed twice as a potential replacement for Wink Martindale. The second interview having been conducted virtually on Saturday. The Giants, though, have competition for Wilson if he is their target. Now, the Titans and the Rams have also interested in the 41-year-old Wilson. So, Wilson began his NFL coaching career with the Rams. He was there in 2012, right? Also, I think the Giants lucked out here because he was with the Eagles in 2021 and 2021. Oh, and 2022. He was with the Eagles for 2 years. Key Eagle players were advocated for Wilson to be named the defensive coordinator after Jonathan Gannon left to become the Arizona Cardinals head coach. The Eagles went outside the organization and chose Shane Desai, a choice that backfired. Wilson moved on to Baltimore. Right? He took his talents to Baltimore, and I'll tell you what, their secondary was phenomenal this season. Their defense was phenomenal this season. The Giants also interviewed Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Brendan Daly over the weekend. If the Giants want Daly to succeed Wink Martindale, they'll have to wait until after the Chiefs face the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Now, let's not forget, right? He's under, Spagnuolo, right? So he's going to be bringing, if he comes in, he'll be bringing a little bit of that Spagnuolo flavor with him, right? Spagnuolo's, this guy's won Super Bowl, right, with the Giants. He has multiple Super Bowls with the Chiefs. If he winds up winning this one, this will be like his 4th Super Bowl ring, right? He had another one with the Chiefs, and they lost to the Bucs, so he's been to another one. So he's been to 4 Super Bowls with the Chiefs, 5, 1 with the Giants. So he's been, so Spags is very successful as far as a defensive coordinator. So if we would get somebody that was worked underneath him, that may not be bad. The Chiefs did a very good job this season, defensive-wise. So did the Ravens, too. But I said the Giants want Wilson, they have some competition. So, but now that he's out, right? Now that the Ravens are out, if they want him, they better strike. All right, then we got the Giants going to be well represented in the Super Bowl. And usually it was always the same kind of thing. I think I did even something like this last season. I mean, it's always the same thing. It's always, there was a report last season I went over, all the Giants that wound up being in representing ex-Giants that, shall I say, that were represented in the Super Bowl. So with the Chiefs, right, of course, let's start off with Spags, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. Now, let's not forget, he was the Giants' interim head coach for the last four games of the 2017 season, right? And, they didn't want to keep him. He went 1-3. I mean, it was a horrible season. They went 1-3, and he didn't want to obviously become the head coach. So, but Spagnuolo famously served as a Giants defense coordinator for the 2007 Super Bowl championship team, his first season in New York and his first as an NFL defensive coordinator. Let's see, Spags. Let's see here. He was with Andy Reid from 1999 to 2006. He left the Giants after the 2008 season, where the Giants, had a fantastic defense. And I really think if Plaxico Burress didn't shoot himself in the leg, Giants would have won back-to-back Super Bowls. Really, really think so. Let's see who else we got here. Defensive backs coach Dave Merritt. Merritt, a former NFL defensive back who played with the Dolphins Cardinals, was one of head coach Tom Coughlin's original assistant coaches who stayed with the team for the duration of Coughlin's 12 years in New York. So, defensive back coach Dave Merritt. He's with the Chiefs. Kadarius Toney, right? Unfortunately, he'll be there. I'm not going to waste my time talking about that moron. So the next guy, hey, Richie James, right? Remember Richie James last season, right? He was our punt returner. He tied for the team, 57 receptions, tied for the team lead in receptions. Giants, for some reason, just, we don't need you. You led the team in receptions, tied for the late team. We don't need you. Right? Okay. James, who had been with the 49ers before injuries started to affect him, came to the Giants on a one-year trial to revive his career. He almost didn't make it through a full season, though, as some mismanagement of the ball on punt returns led to him to being removed from the duty for a brief while. But James not only reclaimed the starting job when injuries struck, he also finished as the team's leading receiver in yardage, 569 yards and 57 receptions. The only time in the last 5 years that Darius Slayton was topped for that honor. Let's go to the 49ers. Anthony Lynn, their assistant head coach and running backs coach. He was a journeyman NFL running back who played with the Broncos and the 49ers before turning to coaching. Briefly, he had a cup of coffee with the Giants during the 1992 offseason. So, I mean, Anthony Lynn hardly had any time at all with the Giants. How about Logan Ryan? Do we remember him? Logan Ryan, right? I mean, I tell you what, that was a really, when we had Logan Ryan, McKinney, we had Peppers, Bradberry, Adoree Jackson for that one season, man, we had that was a nice secondary we had, right? Really nice secondary. But, right. Julian Love, right? Nice secondary. Whew, wow. Logan Ryan was signed by the Giants just weeks before the start of the 2020 NFL season after rookie Xavier McKinney suffered a broken foot midway through that year's training camp. Ryan, who had been with the Titans from 2017 to 2019, reunited with head coach Joe Judge, with whom he had been a part of the New England Patriots from 2013 to 2016. Ryan served as a defensive captain for the Giants in the 2021 season. The team released him in March of 2022 as a part of a salary cap clean-out. So, but Logan Ryan, good for you, brother. How about, does anybody remember John Feliciano, right? Feliciano was a Giants starting center during the 2022 season, his first full season playing that position. After 1 year in New York, he signed with the 49ers as an unrestricted free agent, right? And he's doing very well with the 49ers. How well is he doing? Well, let me show you. He's doing so well with the 49ers. According to Pro Football Focus, that's all I'm going by, right? He played in, let's see, what do we got? This is with the 49ers. This year with the 49ers, he played center, he played left guard, he played right guard. He played all three interior positions, all three. Left guard, center, right guard, all three of them. And he graded out at an 80.3. Two times he played right guard, right? Now he's 32 years old. He's not somebody you're going to be building with for the long term. But he played right guard 2 consecutive games. He graded out over a 90. He graded out 91.4 against Seattle. And the following week against the Cardinals, he graded out a 93.5 at right guard. But he graded out an 80.3 overall the whole season. He played in 600 snaps, okay? Last season with the Giants, he graded out a 57.4. 80.3 with the 49ers, and he was a year older, okay? It's not like, he was old. No, he was a year older, more wear and tear on the body, grades out at an 80. A younger John Feliciano with the Giants grades out a 57. Shocking, I know. He grades out better at another team than he does with the Giants. Just makes you wonder. It's like, what were we teaching these guys? Well, it's like, is it the coach? Is it the players, or is a little bit of coaching going on there? Once again, 80, graded out an 80 with the 49ers. He grades out a 57 with the Giants. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And then also we got Tabor Pepper. That is this guy here. Pepper is another player who had a cup of coffee with the Giants. That is coming during the 2019 offseason. After failing to make the Giants' 53-man roster that summer, Tabor was scooped up by the Miami Dolphins for the 2019 season. He then went west to the 49ers, where he's been there since 2020. So, he has just a small cup of coffee with the Giants. But, there's a few guys there. And I'll tell you what, man, if Feliciano wins, I'll be happy as heck for him. If Logan Ryan wins, I'll be happy as heck for him. Some of these guys, it's a shame. It's funny. Let's bring these guys in and keep them for you. We don't need you anymore. It's like, where'd you bring them in? Why do you bring these guys in if you're like, bring these 13 guys in, we'll get rid of them next. It's like, well, why do you bring? Unbelievable. But I'll be if Spags wins another one, I'll be very happy for him. Hopefully, the only reason why I wouldn't want the Chiefs to win would be because of Toney. He'd get that moron would get another ring. So, but then finally, Phil Simms. Apparently, good old Phil Simms. He seems to have high hopes for the New York Giants next season. Now, he's always been a good advocate for the Giants. He's always, for the most part, has always thought highly of the Giants. So, it's, once again, no different. Phil Simms predicts the Giants will be serious contenders next season. Okay. So the New York Giants are in the midst of a rebuild. That didn't stop Giants legend Phil Simms from predicting the Giants to have a bounce-back season next season. All right. Former Giants quarterback Phil Simms feels bullish about his former team's chance of turning things around next season. So said the Giants Ring of Honor member in an interview with the U.S. Sun, in which he thought the Giants would be able to build on their 9-7-1 record established in the first year of head coach Brian Daboll's tenure before things fell apart this season. After reaching the playoffs and winning a playoff game, injuries and, according to Simms, a little bit of bad luck, which is true, led to the Giants having a disappointing 2023 season. Simms said, I didn't think they would probably have the same season they did the year before, Simms said, but I thought they would have a decent year and would be a year away from being a serious contender. Giants didn't have much luck on their side in close games or when it came to health. 4 of the Giants' 11 losses this season came by 1 possession or less in a season where the Giants roster was ravaged with injuries. I think they were a little unfortunate about 3 games, Simms said. They lost some unbelievable games. The Bill game, right? The Jet game, the Ram game. They could have ended up winning 9 games, unbelievably, past year. I just didn't it just didn't fall for them, which is it. You can look in some respects, the games kind of fell for the Giants in 2022, and they didn't fall for the Giants in 2023. Sims said the Giants could turn their fortunes around just as quickly as the Houston Texans did with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Giants find themselves in a similar position as Houston was last offseason, needing to fill multiple positions with quality players with an upgrade in play at the quarterback position. One of those positions is widely believed to be quarterback, given the regression of starter Daniel Jones, who is also now dealing with a torn ACL on top of everything else. After finishing 3-13 last season, the Texans drafted Stroud second overall in last year's draft, hired a new coach, and proceeded to go to 10-7 with a playoff victory this season. Sims thinks the Giants could make a similar run in 2024. And I'll tell you what, their playoffs against the Ravens, I mean, it was anybody's game at halftime. They got blown out. They got the doors blown off them in the second half. But I'll tell you what, at halftime, that was anybody's game. Right? Sim says, I think they'll be very, very competitive when it comes to next year. It doesn't take a lot. They're solid. And if it clicks, you can just kind of come out of nowhere, he said. The key to the Giants' chances of turning things around will undoubtedly focus on much more than the quarterback, as many positions need to be addressed. However, if they hope to be successful next season, the Giants will need better play and help from their quarterback position, in addition to upgrading other positions around the quarterback. I know it's the quarterback, Sims said, but it's more than just that. So, it'd be going to be very, very interesting to see what the Giants decide to do, obviously, once again, at the quarterback position. They're going to, strike early at that position and, give Daniel Jones some competition there. We'll have to wait and see. I said, they need, they got some early picks. They can, their first 3 picks can certainly be difference makers. Guys you can put in there, right? You can if they don't draft an edge rusher, I don't see them drafting an edge rusher unless they move back. Somebody wants to jump up and the Giants trade back and pick up another pick or so or something like that. Maybe if the Giants are drafting now number 9 or 10 or somewhere, 10 or 11 or whatever, there might be an edge rusher in play there. Just a couple of the guys I've been listening to kind of seem to think that there's possibly 9 of the first 10 picks could be offensive players. So there's no huge cornerback. There's no gotta draft them edge rusher, number 2 overall. None of that. So, you can be seeing tackles, quarterbacks, and wide receivers, and maybe even at the guy from that tight end from Georgia. So you can maybe get the first 10 picks could be offensive players. So, the Giants need to, first round or second round, right? And they can get an edge rusher. It may not be a phenomenal edge rusher, but somebody who compete and give you some good quality reps at edge rusher. Maybe draft somebody in the offensive line, right? Who they're going to pick with that first pick is, without question, they can certainly draft a wide receiver at their pick 6, without question. Regardless if Harrison goes or does not go, there's a few wide receivers that can go in the top 5, 6, 7 or whatever, without question. So it'd be interesting to see where the Giants wind up going there. They could certainly, probably without question, get one of those tackles too. Draft one of those tackles, put him at right guard, or draft the tackle and put him at right guard. Draft the tackle and put him at right tackle. There you go. Huh? I got some brains, huh? Put the tackle at right tackle, right? Slide Evan Neal over, and he shaking hands with Andrew Thomas. Hey, Evan Neal, I'm Andrew Thomas. How you doing? I'm a tackle. You gonna be the guard? All right, it's me and you, bro. Me and you for the next 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it is. Let's roll, right? You got John Michael Schmitz at center. You draft one of those tackles, right? And then you have to worry about your right guard, whoever that might wind up being. We got a bunch of guys on the roster, but once again, we'll have to wait and see. The Giants could certainly go out and bring in a guard in free agency. Brasilla's done a very good job with bringing in, and working with less talent and get them to function, right? Which is something the Giants have needed for so freaking long, right? But I said the draft's going to be very, very interesting. I said, what do we got? Less than 3 months. But not only that, but we have about 6 weeks. Yeah, because February's a short month. Actually, it's a leap year. So we got 29 days, but then you got 29 days, but then you got the 13th. I think the 13th, March 13th starts the new year, the new NFL year. So that that's when you can start signing the free agents and all and everything. So 6 weeks, guys, 6 weeks we'll be signing free agents. Crazy as that sounds, right? And then you got about 5-6 weeks later, and then you got the draft. And then, guys, then we're off and running once again. Crazy as that sounds. All right, guys, it's been 55 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you, as always. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.